In the weeks leading up to the Liberal Democrat conference, a number of official figures highlighted the party's declining membership. We asked leading Liberal Democrat commentators what it means to them to be a Lib Dem and why they support the party.
Well, the point of the Lib Dem conference, if you're a party member, is that you actually get to help vote and set party policy. So you do get some really big influence. And of course, now we're in coalition, we're seeing some of those policies being debated and come forward.
I hope very much that people will look at this conference and hopefully at some of the rows, frankly, that the Lib Dems have, as a good thing for politics, as something that's regenerating politics.
And the great thing about the Liberal Democrat conference, as I'm sure other people have said, is that it's a real debate. So people can lose and people can win, and that's exciting and rarely authentic.
There's not many steps between me voting and actually the government doing something, which is a fantastic bit of extra democracy above and beyond what we can do every 4 or 5 years at a general election.
It makes it worthwhile coming as a party member, and it makes it worthwhile being a member. It's certainly not a complete panacea to a drop in membership that the Lib Dems have experienced, just as other people have, but it makes it worth coming.
There was an air of quiet confidence in Glasgow. The Lib Dems seemed to be more at ease with themselves as a party than in previous years, and focused on the issues that were tabled on the conference agenda rather than being resentful of past party actions since the 2010 election. Perhaps this was down to the motion early on in the conference, which tackled head-on the betrayal felt by members over the controversial tuition fees policy.
What the party voted at the weekend to say was, we want to see how the tuition fee policy is panning out, but clearly nobody's really going to believe us if we go to the next election saying, well, last time we said we would abolish tuition fees, now this time we really mean it. So we said, let's leave the current policy as it is and review how it works.
With the pledge that the Lib Dems made at the last election on tuition fees, which Nick Clegg then came back and apologised for changing that position 180 degrees, it was always going to be an area of debate and contention here. They've just finished that debate, and I think that they have come to a sensible decision to say, yes, we can't go back to where we were before. It's not going to be a free ticket for students in HE going forward, but they've also left the door open for a big review.
So what were the most important issues for party policy making?
The great weakness that we had as a party going rather unexpectedly into government is that the two critical areas where we didn't have enough to say, one were the economy, because Liberals traditionally are not terribly interested in the economy, let's face it, they're interested in other issues, and public services. And I think that proved to be very different, because it meant that we had no position, we were rolled over in both cases.
Unless the economy is doing well, it'll be very hard for Liberal Democrats to get much public interest in some of the other things we've been achieving in government. So things like the creation of the Green Investment Bank, things like some of the major steps to improve our civil liberties, such as abolishing Labour's mandatory ID cards plans. Understandably, if the economy's not doing well, the public tend not to be quite so interested in those issues. So the economy, really important in its own right, but also important so we can then get a hearing for that wider range of issues.
Well, the biggest issue is going to be the economy motion, which is debated tomorrow. And the thing about that will be really interesting is the vote on 50p tax rate, because there's some debate within the party leadership and within the party membership about whether or not we should have that as a position for our next sort of coalition or our next manifesto, which clearly may be part of coalition negotiations.
The Liberal Democrat leader and Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg concluded his speech by saying our place is in government again, and it certainly seemed like the debates within the conference and on the fringe were geared towards resilient and proactive policy making rather than protest politics, as the Lib Dems prepare for another coalition and seek to strengthen their identity while doing so.
I think in the next 2 years from the election we will create an understanding of the public's mind, which is what has to happen, about why we did the coalition, what we've managed to achieve in there, what we haven't managed to achieve in there, and what we can achieve in the future.
There is a different Liberal approach, which isn't simply about being Labour, isn't simply about being Conservative. It's about marrying together the real belief in the need to have a strong economy, but also a real passionate belief in a fair society.
If we're going to counteract UKIP and Mr Farage and some of his ideas, we've actually got to come up with some really strong arguments that capture the public's imagination for the things that we believe in, for the liberal values that we believe are so important. And we've seen the beginning of that on the fringe, and there's a lot more to come.